we have been compelled to create a permanent armaments industry of vast proportions. Now, this conjunction of an immense military establishment and a large arms industry is new in the American experience. We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Nearly everyone who is alive today grew up during this period, and we have never known anything different.
What about our nation's energy needs? Do you feel that they should be federally funded?
Well, I think there's an area for the federal. No, stop there.
Large amounts of oil and natural gas lay beneath our land and off our shores untouched.
Let me be clear. The sovereign independence of Saudi Arabia is of vital interest to the United States.
What can your administration do to help people right now?
Yeah, the best thing we can do is to increase supply and to drill for oil and gas and build more refineries. We ought to have a very active domestic policy.
I think nuclear power has to be part of our energy solution.
Oil production is up. Natural gas production is up. I'm all for pipelines. I'm all for oil production. What I'm not for is us ignoring the other half of the equation.
President Obama promised to begin to slow the rise of the oceans and to heal the planet. My promise is to help you and your family.
They all make the same promise. They head down to the gas station and they make sure a few cameras are following them, and then they tell you how we're going to have cheap gas forever if you just vote for them. And it has been the same script for 30 years, the same thing.
Okay, guys, enough bullshit.
Solar power is the most abundant, most renewable resource we have.
If we could capture
1/100th
of
1% of the sun's energy reaching the Earth, it would be more energy than all humans use today. Just outside Yuma, Arizona is the sunniest place in the world. 90% of the year the skies are clear. And these southwest deserts have enough suitable land to supply 80% of the entire planet's current use.
See from this map how small the area covered by solar thermal collectors can supply the demand for electricity for all the Middle East and North Africa, and this area to supply the requirement for Europe and this for the world.
Then there's wind energy. Wind energy has long been denounced as weak and, due to being location-driven, impractical. This is simply not true. The U.S. Department of Energy admitted in 2007 that if wind was fully harvested in just 3 of America's 50 states, it could power the entire nation.
The energy problem in the United States is largely laid at the door of government. It's government interfering. It's government putting a wellhead price on natural gas that makes it uneconomic to find more natural gas. It's the restrictions on the offshore oil drilling. Surrounding this country, offshore, is more oil than the Arabs have got and more oil than we have in the continental United States. And we have the technology to get it out.
Our work is focused on building driving cars that can drive anywhere by themselves. We've driven 140,000 miles. It's the perfect driving mechanism. We've driven in cities, like in San Francisco here. We've driven from San Francisco to Los Angeles on Highway 1. We've encountered joggers, busy highways, tall booths. And this is without a person in the loop. The car just drives itself. In fact, while we drove 140,000 miles, people didn't even notice.
Evacuated tube transport uses airless vacuum tubes, which move faster and use less energy to travel between destinations. Six-person capsules travel in the tubes on frictionless maglev tracks and can reach a maximum speed of 6,500 kilometers per hour. It produces a maximum of 1 G of force at top speed. Passengers would not experience any discomfort. Evacuated tubes can be built for 1/10 the cost of a high-speed rail system and 1/4 the cost of a freeway. The tubes could travel from New York to LA in 45 minutes and from New York to China in just 2 hours.
There are no Negro problems, or Polish problems, or Jewish problems, or Greek problems, or women's problems. They're human problems.
Social change cannot come about through the intellect. It comes about by people suffering.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Less than 5% of the world's population live in the United States. We are consuming over 25% of the world's resources and creating roughly 30% of its major pollution. That's a failure.
You get Lacan's point. Fantasies have to be unrealistic, because the moment, the second that you get what you seek, you can't want it anymore.
What a brilliant future we could have. And there will be peace. There will be peace when the people of the world want it so badly that their governments will have no choice but to give it to them.
We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that.
The old appeals to racial, sexual, and religious chauvinism and to rabid nationalist fervor are beginning not to work. A new consciousness is developing which sees the earth as a single organism and recognizes that an organism at war with itself is doomed. We are one planet.